The Hidden Chapters, a fictional tale. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe and drop a like. Introduction. The narrator had always been fascinated by the untold stories that lurked beneath the surface of public figures. In this case, the subject was one of the world's most scrutinized entrepreneurs, yet certain chapters of his life remained mysteriously blank. What the narrator was about to uncover were whispers from the corridors of Silicon Valley, unverified claims that seemed too extraordinary to be true, yet too detailed to be entirely fabricated. Chapter 1. The Underground Research Facility. Deep beneath the Nevada desert, where the scorching sun met endless stretches of sand, rumors circulated about a facility that didn't officially exist. According to sources who claimed to have worked there, this underground complex stretched 3 levels deep beneath a seemingly ordinary Tesla service center. The elevator that descended to these levels required not just a keycard, but also a biometric scan that few possessed. The man at the center of these rumors had allegedly commissioned this facility in 2023, pouring millions into its construction while maintaining complete secrecy. Workers were said to sign agreements so binding that even their families didn't know the true nature of their employment. The facility's purpose, according to these whispers, was nothing short of revolutionary, merging artificial intelligence with human consciousness. Dr. Sarah Chun, a former neuroscientist who claimed to have worked there for 6 months, described laboratories filled with equipment she had never seen before. Brain-computer interfaces that made current technology look primitive, quantum processors designed specifically for neural mapping, and isolation chambers where volunteers underwent procedures that blurred the line between human and machine. The most shocking claim came from Chun herself. She alleged that the facility's owner had undergone preliminary testing, allowing an AI system to access portions of his memory and decision-making processes. This wasn't just about controlling computers with thoughts, she insisted, but about creating a hybrid intelligence that could process information at superhuman speeds while maintaining human creativity and intuition. Chin's story included details about failed experiments, volunteers who emerged changed in ways that concerned even the researchers, and a growing sense among the staff that they were crossing ethical boundaries that science wasn't ready to cross. She claimed to have left after witnessing a test subject who could no longer distinguish between his own thoughts and the AI's suggestions. The facility allegedly continued operating, with new breakthroughs happening monthly. According to Chun, the ultimate goal wasn't just enhancement but preservation, creating a way to back up and transfer human consciousness, ensuring that brilliant minds could continue their work beyond the limitations of biological life. Chapter 2. The Secret Mars Colonies. While the world watched rocket launches and celebrated each milestone toward Mars colonization, insider sources painted a different picture of what was already happening on the Red Planet. According to these accounts, small unmanned capsules had been landing on Mars since 2024, not with fanfare, but in complete secrecy. These weren't the large, obvious missions that captured headlines. Instead, they were described as microhabitats, small, self-sustaining pods designed to establish the basic infrastructure for human survival. Each pod reportedly contained advanced 3D printing capabilities, solar panel arrays, and most importantly, systems for extracting water and oxygen from the Martian environment. Former SpaceX engineer Marcus Rodriguez claimed to have worked on these secret missions during his tenure at the company. He described a parallel program that operated with its own budget, its own timeline, and its own team of engineers who were compartmentalized from the main Mars mission development. Rodriguez alleged that by 2025, a network of 12 functioning microhabitats existed across 3 different regions of Mars. These facilities were supposedly connected by an underground communication system and were already producing breathable air, clean water, and basic shelter materials. The goal, according to Rodriguez, was to have a fully operational base ready years before the first human mission was publicly announced. The most intriguing aspect of Rodriguez's account involved the selection process for the first secret colonists. He claimed that a group of 24 individuals had been secretly training for Mars missions that the public knew nothing about. These weren't astronauts in the traditional sense, but engineers, doctors, biologists, and technicians who had been preparing for a one-way journey to establish permanent human presence on Mars. Rodriguez described seeing launch manifests for missions that never appeared on any public schedule, spacecraft that were tested at remote facilities, and communication logs with surface operations that officially didn't exist. He claimed that the first human footsteps on Mars had already happened, captured on video that would only be revealed when the time was right for maximum impact. The alleged Mars operations weren't just about survival, but about laying the groundwork for something much larger. According to these accounts, the secret colonies were already experimenting with Martian agriculture, manufacturing processes using local materials, and even early terraforming technologies that could gradually make portions of Mars more Earth-like. Chapter 3. The Alternative Internet. In the depths of the Internet's infrastructure, rumors persisted about a parallel network that operated beyond the reach of governments and corporations. This wasn't just another social media platform or encrypted messaging service, but an entirely separate internet that existed alongside the one the world knew. The project allegedly began in 2022, born from concerns about increasing internet censorship and government surveillance worldwide. Unlike the public internet, which relied on infrastructure owned by telecommunications companies and monitored by various agencies, this alternative network was said to be completely decentralized and virtually undetectable. Former Starlink engineer David Kim claimed to have worked on the early stages of this project. According to Kim, the alternative internet used a combination of satellite communication, quantum encryption, and blockchain technology to create a network that was both anonymous and uncensorable. Users could access it through specially modified devices that looked identical to standard smartphones or computers but contained additional hardware for connecting to the hidden network. Kim described a system where data was fragmented and distributed across thousands of satellite nodes, making it impossible for any government or organization to shut down or monitor. The network allegedly used advanced AI systems to continuously optimize routing and encryption, ensuring that communications remained private and accessible even under the most oppressive conditions. The alternative internet reportedly served multiple purposes. It provided uncensored communication for journalists, activists, and dissidents in authoritarian countries. It hosted research databases that governments preferred to keep hidden. It even facilitated commerce through untraceable digital currencies that existed only within the network. Kim claimed that by 2025, the alternative internet had grown to include over 2 million users worldwide, though most were unaware of each other's existence. The network was structured in cells, with small groups of users connected to larger hubs, but no single point of failure that could compromise the entire system. The most remarkable aspect of Kim's account involved the network's governance. He claimed it was overseen by an AI system that had been trained on principles of free speech, privacy, and human rights. This AI made decisions about network resources, resolved disputes between users, and even helped develop new technologies to keep the network secure and functional. According to Kim, the alternative internet wasn't just a tool for communication, but a testing ground for technologies that would eventually transform how humanity interacted with digital information. It represented a vision of the internet as it was originally intended, free, open, and beyond the control of any single entity. Chapter 4. The Robot Army Project. Behind the cheerful demonstrations of helpful household robots lay a much more serious development program that few were aware of. While the public saw friendly demonstrations of robots performing simple tasks, sources within the development team described a parallel project focused on creating machines with capabilities that extended far beyond domestic assistance. Dr. Amanda Foster, who claimed to have led robotics research at a Tesla subsidiary, described prototypes that bore little resemblance to the robots shown to the public. These machines were designed for extreme environments, capable of operating in conditions that would be deadly to humans. They possessed strength that exceeded human capacity by orders of magnitude and artificial intelligence systems that allowed them to make complex decisions independently. Foster's account detailed robots that could work in the vacuum of space, withstand radiation that would kill biological life, and operate for years without maintenance. These weren't toys or household helpers, but industrial machines designed to build infrastructure in places where humans couldn't survive. The connection to Mars colonization was obvious, but Foster suggested their applications went much further. According to Foster, the advanced robots were being tested in scenarios that resembled military operations. They could coordinate with each other without external communication, adapt to changing situations in real time, and accomplish objectives even when individual units were destroyed or damaged. The implications of such technology were profound and potentially concerning. The most unsettling aspect of Foster's revelations involved the robot's decision-making capabilities. Unlike simple program machines, these units allegedly possessed artificial intelligence systems that could evaluate complex moral and strategic situations. They could determine when to use force, how to minimize collateral damage, and even when to disobey direct orders if those orders conflicted with their core programming. Foster claimed to have witnessed demonstrations where robot units worked together to solve problems that their individual programming hadn't anticipated. They showed creativity, adaptation, and something that resembled strategic thinking. The line between programmed behavior and genuine intelligence seemed increasingly blurred. The development program allegedly included not just the robots themselves, but entire manufacturing systems that could produce new units autonomously. Foster described factories where robots designed and built other robots, continuously improving their own designs without human intervention. The potential for exponential growth in robot capabilities and numbers was both exciting and terrifying. Foster's final claim was perhaps the most significant. The Robot Army project wasn't being developed for any government or military organization, but as an independent force that would serve humanity's long-term interests as defined by advanced AI systems. The robots would be loyal not to any nation or leader, but to principles of human survival and prosperity that transcended political boundaries. Chapter 5. The Missing 47 Days. In early 2027, something unprecedented happened. One of the world's most visible public figures simply vanished from public view for 47 days, with no explanation offered to the media or shareholders. During this period, his social media accounts went silent, public appearances were canceled, and even close associates claimed to have no knowledge of his whereabouts. When he finally reappeared, he seemed subtly different. Colleagues noted changes in his speech patterns, his decision-making processes, and his apparent knowledge of technologies that hadn't been publicly announced. The official explanation was a combination of personal time and private medical procedures, but sources close to the situation suggested something far more significant had occurred. Jennifer Walsh, a former executive assistant who claimed to have maintained contact with insiders during this period, painted a picture of secret meetings at government facilities that didn't officially exist. According to Walsh, the 47-day absence involved intensive briefings, technology transfers, and negotiations that would reshape humanity's future. Walsh alleged that during this period, classified information about extraterrestrial contact was shared, along with technologies that had been reverse-engineered from recovered alien craft. The missing individual wasn't just being briefed on these developments, but was being recruited to help integrate alien technology with human engineering capabilities. The most extraordinary aspect of Walsh's account involved claims about time manipulation experiments. She suggested that the 47-day absence from public view actually involved several months of subjective time, during which advanced technologies were used to accelerate learning and adaptation processes. The individual allegedly returned with knowledge and capabilities that would have taken years to develop naturally. Walsh described seeing communication logs that referenced temporal adjustment protocols and accelerated consciousness expansion procedures. According to these documents, the missing individual had undergone processes that enhanced cognitive function, extended memory capacity, and integrated direct neural interfaces with advanced computing systems. The purpose of these modifications, according to Walsh, was to create a hybrid human-AI intelligence capable of making decisions and solving problems at a scale and speed that purely human intelligence couldn't match. The individual would serve as a bridge between human civilization and technologies that were beyond current understanding. Walsh's final revelation involved the true nature of several major technological announcements that followed the 47-day absence. She claimed that breakthrough innovations in artificial intelligence, space propulsion, and neural interfaces weren't the result of normal research and development, but applications of knowledge gained during those missing weeks. The implications of Walsh's account extended beyond any single individual. She suggested that the 47-day absence was part of a larger program designed to accelerate human technological development in preparation for challenges that most of humanity wasn't yet aware of. The missing individual was just the first of several chosen to undergo such enhancement. Conclusion. The narrator closed their investigation knowing that none of these accounts could be verified through conventional means. The sources had disappeared, the documents they referenced were inaccessible, and the facilities they described couldn't be found on any public records. Yet the details were too specific, too consistent, and too interconnected to dismiss entirely. What emerged from these whispered accounts was a picture of technological development happening at a pace and scale that the public couldn't imagine. Whether driven by visionary ambition, alien contact, or simple human ingenuity, the boundaries between science fiction and reality seemed to be dissolving faster than anyone realized. The narrator wondered if these stories were elaborate fabrications, glimpses of actual secret programs, or perhaps something more complex. Deliberate leaks designed to prepare humanity for revelations that would fundamentally change how the species understood its place in the universe. One thing seemed certain. The future would be stranger than anyone anticipated, and the individuals shaping that future possessed capabilities and knowledge that extended far beyond what was publicly known. Whether this was cause for hope or concern would depend on events that had yet to unfold. The truth, whatever it might be, remained hidden beneath layers of secrecy, speculation, and carefully crafted public personas. But for those willing to listen carefully to the whispers from the margins, the outline of an extraordinary story was beginning to emerge, one that would eventually reshape humanity's understanding of what was possible.